Angel. Merci d'accueillir sur scène notre présentatrice Lou Angel.
What I'm offering you is to sit with our esports team to speak about the future of esports of VALORANT. So I am very, very, very glad to welcome our four members of the VALORANT esports team: Liu Faria, Billy Pan, Riley Kirk, and Om Trukosit from the esports team. So we have the head of VALORANT esports, guys, it's a pleasure to have our VALORANT team. We were speaking with our voice actors yesterday, with the developers on Friday, and we have this.
I still do a lot of fun with you guys.
You know what? Don't underestimate yourself. We know you have some jokes in the store, so no worries about that. First of all, guys, I'm going to ask you, how is it in Paris so far? When did you arrive? What have you enjoyed? Is it like sightseeing, food, anything?
It's been amazing. It's been amazing. We've been here. We all arrived around maybe a week ago, 2 weeks ago.
I've been here for 3 weeks.
You've been here for a long time. But it's been a phenomenal city. I mean, first and foremost for me, public transport here, it's awesome. Coming from LA, where there's no metro, there's no train, we have to drive everywhere.
Okay.
I mean, that's...
You know what, we take the compliment. I think Parisians have a very specific opinion on public transportation in Paris, but we take
It's better than most places in the world. So be thankful for that.
Thank you so much for the compliment to the Paris Metro. What about you guys? What have you been enjoying?
I love the food here. I feel like I've been eating really well every day. I think I've gained 5 kilos since I've been here, so it's been amazing. I really love the food.
Awesome. Foodie, sightseeing.
The food for me as well. I think, the squab or the pigeon, as some call it, has been a fun one to try and see at many restaurants. Don't see that much in the States, so fun to expand our cuisine.
You're a man of taste, Riley. And last but not least, Leo. What has been remarkable about Paris?
I've probably been to Paris 20 times in my life. I love the city. I also love the food, but I'm telling my favorite thing is just the bread. You do not find the bread and the cheese. I think actually it might be the best in the world, but the bread and the cheese is just top notch.
Française, la meilleure du monde, moi j'aime bien. Quand on nous sauce comme ça, moi personnellement j'adore, I love that. And you give me the same answer as DRX Bean. When I asked him, yes, what he could bring from France and Korea, he said we love the bread. So you're all of course that's a place. We're here to discuss a serious topic, the VCT 2026 announcements. So we've been gathering questions for social media for the past days, and you guys are going to be answering them, and I'm going to be hosting, asking questions and forth. So first of all, we're talking challengers, right? And the big news is that the challengers can now make it to champions from 2026. So what will be the exact path from a challengers team to give it a try and a chance?
Yeah, I mean, we're incredibly excited that we're able to introduce in 26. I think a lot of fans and a lot of pros teams, they've also shared as such. The way that's going to work is, we're still going to have our Chair Tour Challenge League competition. Qualifying into those are largely going to stay the same for many regions around the world, whether it's a international tournament, through Premier, through VCLs. That's still the way into Challenger Tier 2. And then from there, what we're going to do is have the top Challenger Leagues teams qualify up and play against the Tier 1 competition, the International League teams, around the playoff moments leading up to the Chips. So we're going to have basically 4 Challenger League teams per league. So VCT will be able to have 4 coming up, playing against IELTS teams, battling it out. It's going to be a tough road, but battling it out to make it to Chips.
So there will be straight to stage 2 playoffs, right?
That's right.
Okay. And which maybe, this is a bit of a follow-up, but which community, maybe players, like feedback or demand or concern were you answering, initiating this thing? Because this is almost, we've never seen that in the VCT circuit since 2022 before franchise. So yeah, which demand were you answering by implementing this?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
It's fine. Which ask, which concern from the players were you answering by implementing this? Like, what was the intent?
Yeah, I think I can start with each other. I think the biggest one is it's going to be a difficult road, like I mentioned. There's only 4 slots of champs, right, for each of the leagues, and so even if you're a partner team, Fnatic, these folks, it's still tough for them. And so it's definitely going to be tough for our Tier 2 teams, our Challenge League teams, but the beauty here is we still want to make the ecosystem sustainable and rewarding for players and boards, even if they don't make it to champions, the Tier 2 teams. They make it up into the, let's say, VCT playoffs. We're going to actually take a cut of our digital rev share and be able to pass it on to them.
Yeah, look, the truth is, from the beginning, we wanted the VCT to be semi-closed, right? Or semi-open, however you want to call it. We wanted that path to exist, and we created that path with Ascension. But what we learned 3 years in is that dream doesn't feel attainable, right? It feels like such a long shot because you have to compete an entire year to then go to Ascension in one team on 5. And what teams told us that's not enough. So this is us trying to do more to give them a direct path to champions every year. And this is of course just the beginning because more changes are coming in 2027. So.
Yes, we know that, and we're very excited also, of course, to hear a bit more about that later in the year. And I think it's beautiful also for the Challengers players, because some players who play Challengers throughout the year don't ever get the opportunity to play on stage. Sometimes they will only play for their place, maybe boot camp with the team. So I think it's also a great opportunity to be able to play stage 2 and join the teams in the VCT studio and stuff. So yeah, we're excited about this. Now I'm going to have to ask you guys a bit more of a realistic question, reality check. How realistic is it for a Challengers team to actually make it?
So we feel that the system that we're hoping to implement next year will be a really good opportunity for more teams to get highlighted and showcased. Right? We saw, with the Ascensions program that we currently run, it's very viable for Tier 2 teams, teams that are in our ecosystem to compete really well against our island teams and our partner teams. Right? We have G2 in the Americas, Nagasha that had a good run. Pacific, General Basin, Apex also played really well, right? So we have a lot of examples where Tier 2 teams are coming up and they get a chance to play against IL teams that really make good runs, right? Make a big impact, they have really good players, and the ability to compete well. So, we think that the shot is a fair chance for them to qualify for champions.
Yeah, and that's totally right. To Owen's point, there are a lot of teams out there, Tier 2 teams, that are able to compete and actually hold their own, that are really doing well in scrims, but that's not all of them. And so what we want to do is, yes, give them an opportunity, but balance it with the ability to actually support a lot of those Tier 2 teams coming up, which is why we want to be able to, financially, support the Tier 2 teams, which we haven't really done before.
And the other thing I would say, look, to come up with this promotion opportunity, Path to Global Events as we're calling it, the Path to Champions, we explored every single format on the face of the earth.
Oh yeah.
You can ask these guys, Jake, our entire team, some of us are here. We spend weeks, probably months, debating every single possibility. And one of them was, we want to give challenger teams a direct path to champions. And we decided against that for the reason being, it is supposed to be hard, right? Champions is the pinnacle of the sport. We want the best of the best to be here battling out for the world title. So if you give challenger teams a guaranteed spot, you create the debate of
should we be in challengers or should we be in VCT if we want to make a chance, right?
Or is the top 1 challenger team better than the 4th place from the international league? So at the end of the day, if you want to be among the best, you have to beat the best, right? So that's why they're joining playoffs. We want to give them a fair shot. I saw some debate online of folks saying, are challenger teams going to join the lower bracket and have one life, like lose one match in your out? The answer is no. We want to give them a fair shot. But again, you still have to be the best teams in the world to make a chance.
So they will be starting from the upper bracket just like the other teams.
We'll share the exact details later. We have what we think is a creative and exciting format, but we'll share it later this year.
And it's going to be all about seating, etc., etc. Like it's obviously this is thank you for this big answer. And yeah, I think this is pretty exciting because the only times we get to actually see tier 2 facing tier 1 teams in officials is during the off season, right? So everything is pretty like gems are passed, like we're chilling, experiencing stuff, and so it's going to be interesting, to have us tier 2 face tier 1 teams for real stakes, right?
Yeah, we're super hyped to actually see those matches happen because we don't really have any venue to look at those matchups. To your point, aside from the offseason, the offseason matches are entertaining, but the stakes aren't as high. So.
That's the thing, like it's really entertaining to watch, but here we're talking qualification to champs, we're talking teams that are going to have to prove something against, like the tier 2 teams and stuff. So I think those are really good storylines that we're going to see appear, of course. And speaking about, the challenger team making it maybe to champs, always making it to the VCT studio and stuff, what measures or stipend will be provided to those teams that may manage to do it? What is the stipend? How much is it?
Yeah, I can take this one. So for a long time, we've been supporting our partner teams, right? And so with this evolution in the path to champions, we want to kind of broaden that to support the challengers, the non-partner teams in our ecosystem as well. So starting next year, we'll have a $75,000 per team amount for those that qualify to the stage 2 playoffs. And then they'll also have the opportunity to claim the prize pool, of course, from that event. And then if they make it to champions, they'll have an additional opportunity for funds. So the last couple of years, that's been about $500,000 per team that's qualified to champions. And then this year, it's even higher than that. So we'd love to continue that trend. This year is over $700,000 for those teams. So a really big opportunity for those non-partner teams to climb up the ladder and earn additional funds, because sustainability is a big part. And we want to start to offer that to the non-partner teams in our ecosystem as well.
This is often the biggest concern, of our challenger teams and organizations and stuff, even when they're supported by, influencers, even when they have the budget and everything is pretty okay. It's always a big concern. Can we make it? Can we go to the tournament? How much is it going to cost? How are we getting through this? So you guys are addressing those questions for next year.
Absolutely. Look, I think at the end of the day, what we realized is VALORANT is a very healthy sport. It might actually be the healthiest esport in the world right now. Last year, we shared almost $80 million with teams. Thanks to all of you and your support, and for you aligning team campuses and the champ selection, we're sharing a lot more than $80 million with teams this year. But the reality is all of those resources were concentrated on 48 teams. And what we're doing is we're giving more teams the opportunity to have access. $75,000 per team qualifying playoffs. Just to put it in context, one of our challenges with challengers is just because there are a lot.
See, the jokes. We're mentioning of course. It's 25,000.
But one of the challenges, there's a lot of teams. So $75,000 per team. So we're talking about a multi-million-dollar investment into that plus prize pool. So, but again, this is just the beginning of this opening, creating more opportunities. But it's all about just again giving more teams access to that. Everything that it is to as well.
For sure. And when we look at tier 2 teams, it's not a monolith, right? They're all very, very distinct and different. You have organizations that have tons of employees, structures, coaches, nutritionists, and in tier 2, they can support the players with travel and these sorts of things. But there's teams out there that are just 5 friends and a dream. And really what we're trying to do is make it accessible for them as well. So if you're good enough and you make it all the way up, we're going to be able to support you with a stipend. We're going to be able to, help you make sure you have the cash to be able to book travel to get to the event and stay there and have a good time and get that experience. So we're really conscious of the fact that tier 2 teams are not the same, are not made equal all the way through.
Yeah.
And,
it's also different, across the region, across the regional leagues. Some budgets are different than others. The visibility also, and the broadcasts have different needs and stuff. So I think it's really interesting and good from your side to be investing on that. So I'm sure that the players will feel supported on this one. There is also one other concern that I wanted to share with you guys, especially when it comes to challengers teams. Because VCT, everything is done ahead, like way ahead of time, contracts, payers and stuff. For moving in, for instance, in Berlin, because I'm an MBA girlie, so I'm speaking about, my land. But what about visa issues? We know it has been a problem in the past for some challengers player. It's a very practical question. I often about the destinations that we're attending, what we have in mind that not prevent teams from. We have a little issue with maybe we can do that.
Yeah, look, we know that our schedule is very aggressive, right? And then our plans to visit many different cities all over the world and bring the amazing competitions to all of our fans, all of you. But immigration is a challenge, right? It's a huge challenge for all of us. We have dozens of countries represented. We have players from all over the world trying to get to these different places, and we know that it's a blocker, right? But it is something that we're actively looking at. We plan around that, very intently. We're making sure that we have ample breaks during the season for players to be able to not only rest and relax, but also be able to do the logistical things, right, for them to get from here to there. So it is definitely something that we put a lot of effort into, and we also, do that when we choose our cities, right? And so, Leo mentioned in the video with Anna that we're going to be taking the VCT in twice as many cities next year, and that's going to be a big burden for us to help solve. But we're confident that the team behind us is really doing everything that they can to make sure that happens.
It's an ambitious, that's what I would say, because we're always very excited to have our three. So our two masters locations, which are going to be equal right on the correct Santiago, Chile, London, and Shanghai in China. And for summer, that maybe China is going to have pretty much like road trip also. So we're taking the players here and around, touching grass and stuff. I think that's always, of course, important. Yeah, I imagine that on our side can it be complicated sometimes because you're doing everything to bring all players in the right place where they have to be, but still, with administration and stuff.
And to your point, the goal of what we're trying to move to is to be able to take the VCT experience to more fans around the world, right? And we're already doing it with our global events, with our Masters, Champs, and the Game Changers Championship. But we don't really get the chance to go to every market in every region. Santiago, we've never been to, of course. It's taken this long for us to get to. It's a Latin America and South America. But the future is we want to take the show from the VCT and EMEA lens into more countries and more cities that we haven't visited. So with that comes the challenges and things that we're talking about. So to Om's point, we're actively trying to actively for this event.
Like the fees for the fans, like the tickets, like the hotel, traveling, overseas, sometimes for a lot of that. So I think it's pretty nice, to have the VCT coming close. Meantime, maybe the country, like for the European, it's very easy to travel from Belgium, France, Spain. We have a lot of Spanish fans here too. So thank you for that, thank you for those initiatives. My next question is going to be about bridge the gap, like the gap that we have in between the teams and make the pass to Champs, to VCT, etc. achievable again from the teams. I wouldn't say that start from scratch, but you can start from we look at what you guys have in mind to kind of reduce this gap.
Look, I think that's the whole goal of this entire project, is to reignite the dream, is to give teams and players a reason to choose now again. We've been talking about this, we're celebrating 5 years, which means we're reflecting on the journey and how far we have come, and we're very proud of where VALORANT is today, where the VCT is. But we know that as things have started to consolidate, the team doesn't feel as attainable, right? For a lot of players, they're like, I would love to be VALORANT, I would love to be the VCT, but it's so hard that they don't even feel a shot. So the whole point is to make the dream feel possible. So, questions?
Yeah, to one of those earlier questions, it is really important for us. It's not just reigniting the dream for the tippy-top level of pros that are already, on the top tier one. It's for everyone, right? It's for folks that have that actual dream, that are, playing with their friends at their houses, in their rooms, on college campuses, universities, giving them a path, right? Now, you still have to be cracked, you still have to be good. If your team
You
still
have
has
to be the best of the best, right?
But we want to unblock everything possible apart from your innate skill and your dedication. And if we're able to do that, then I think we can achieve something new that we're talking about.
Yeah, and jumping on this tree, we want Mike, because I don't want you to be censored because we've been hearing the voice over there. I want to hear your thoughts on that.
Yeah, and I just wanted to address too, right? Our hope, especially with us including tier 2 teams into the path to champions next year, that there is no limit, right? We do have the ability for players who showcase their skills and have the ability to compete at a really high level. Is really breaking down a lot of those barriers and allow them to ascend, allow them to compete with the best of the best, and we really want to see them on stage too. So, that's our intent with opening up the path to champions more, and then allowing players to really just show what they can do.
Yeah, and you also know, like the paths from tier 2 and like tiers to like tier 1, VCT, etc. has pretty much always been individual. So you get picked from a team, the best players are individually getting picked from their team, which often leads those tier 2 teams to be a bit in shambles because they lost their best player, how they got it, etc. And I think with this path, we can also train as a team. And I think that is also beautiful, knowing that we can make it as 5 chance. Not only one of your star players, greatest player, going to get picked in a team. So I think for me, it resonates in that way. Also, seeing the players not having to look for opportunities by themselves. And let's hope and let's see if some challenges team next year can make it to chance. And speaking about next year, we're going to speak kickoff. I have questions. We have questions. How is this triple elimination kickoff bracket is going to look like? How was it going to practice?
Yeah, so the big impetus for us moving towards triple elimination was a lot of the fans have given us feedback that they want to see their favorite teams play more. Yeah. So this is our opportunity to really give that, especially at the beginning of the season, right? New rosters, new players joining Tier 1. We really want to give fans an opportunity to see their favorite players play, right? New compositions, new team makeups. And so what we're really hoping to do is introduce an extra game for all teams by going to triple elimination. And it'll work just the way that a traditional double elimination bracket works, right? Everyone will start on the first round, and then we'll continue to play through until you lose 3 games, and then you're knocked out. I think the beauty of this format really allows us to condense all qualification until the last 3 days, right? Yeah. So not only are we going to be playing more games, but we're also going to have more game days, right? So for fans to enjoy really high stakes matches, and then we'll see the final 3 days culminate in one every day, someone qualifying to Southern Africa. So that's going to be an amazing effort and an amazing push, right, to highlight those teams towards the end there. So it's going to be great.
This is going to be exciting because not only are we getting triple elimination at kickoff, but we're also getting more teams qualifying to the first Masters. We've always been doing, like with 18 for the first Masters. It's great, yes, it goes fast and stuff, but we're going to have 12 teams this time in Chile. So can you explain me again, speaking about formats, speaking about technicities and stuff, how is this 12 teams bracket or format in general for Masters Chile?
We love Masters 2's format, and we're really excited to be bringing Masters 2 to Masters 1, so that tried and true format. So Triple Elim will play well into that, so the team that has the perfect run during kickoff will get that first spot in Masters, and they'll get a bye into the playoff round. So a lot to fight for, some lock-in-esque elements there to that perfect run to that tournament, so we're really excited about that. Otherwise, Masters 1 and Masters 2 will be the exact same formats now.
Keeping the same format for this. So Masters 2 is speaking of the Toronto format this year, right? It's going to be the same for next year. And also talking about the kickoff, I have one very practical question. Will the team face each other? Because what we've been criticizing sometimes is that there are matches with less stakes at the end, towards the end of the tournament. We already know who's going to Chile, who's going to Paris, for instance, so how will it work? Like the team that has a strongest run, will they be facing seed 2 and seed 3, or will the seeds belong?
So the way that we have it drawn up now is that the seeds will be locked. But I think what the beauty of the triple elimination format gives you is, you know, you have to win to get in, right? So a lot of the times that we've seen in other formats is where, you know, the last match might not be one with qualification, right? We're playing for a lot of stakes. We're playing to crown the winner of, you know, a given stage or a given playoffs. But the beauty with the triple elimination waterfall is once you lose, you continue to drop down. So every match towards the end of the format will either, you know, knock you out of the tournament or will get you more chance to get to go to Masters.
I mean, bracket number 3 is going to be hell, but you know, like an exciting hell for players, casters, viewers, that's for sure.
Yeah, we see some of the best matches happen, right, in the lower bracket. Do or die situation, your last shot to get in, right? And so, yeah, when the back is against the wall, a lot of the players show up, and it's really exciting for us.
It's going to be incredible exciting. That's what we're trying to kind of squeeze out of the format is every match feels like it is do or die.
Yeah.
Every match feels like this is my last chance to fight for my life. And when you have a triple win, yes, you have 3 chances. You can take 2 losses and still have a chance to make it up. And we're going to be able to build, you know, this really great narrative around the beginning of the year to be able to say, hey, 3 strikes and you're out, right?
Yeah.
And so this is something exciting that we're trying to force, like O mentioned, something we're testing out for the first time. And look, if it's good, we'll expand on it. We'll continue to iterate. We'll introduce other exciting things.
It's also nice for us to be reducing the luck factor that some teams were mentioning. You know, Fnatic, for instance, they're in the grand finals today, but they had a difficult kickoff at the beginning of the year. So, you know, it takes time, you know, to get on the road, like to feel back the habits again of like playing and stuff. And we've seen that a lot of teams in kickoff kind of struggle with that. So I mean, you were saying the issue that a lot of players have encountered. So yeah, thank you guys for joining me. It's already, I think, time for us to move on. Thank you so much for answering my questions. Merci beaucoup. We're gonna reach probably in the crowd around for grand finals. It's a pleasure for me to have you there. Thank you for helping us, you know, keep building our wonderful game and our wonderful competition. And I'm so excited for
And
next
thanks
year.
everyone for being here to support us.
Thank you. Merci for